Good morning. A couple months ago I made this video about my addiction to YouTube, and for a while I really had it under control. And more recently, I haven't been like crazy with it. I haven't just been watching YouTube all day long for like days at a time, but I have been falling back into old habits. And last night I was really tired and I wanted to go to sleep, but I was scrolling anyway. I scrolled through YouTube, and then when I got tired of YouTube, I scrolled through Pinterest. And then when I got tired of Pinterest, I scrolled through Reddit, and I just kind of was like sitting in my bed trying to occupy my time, not wanting to go to sleep even though I was tired. And it gave me a lot of anxiety. And so I woke up the next morning pretty early and I was super tired, and I told myself, you know what I need? Today I need a self-care day. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do whatever I want today. That's my form of self-care. One of my favorite things to do when I have a self-care day is no plans, no obligations, do whatever it is that I want. And the only rule I would say for today is that I can't scroll through social media. No Instagram, no Facebook, no YouTube, no Reddit, no Pinterest, none of that. I'm just going to have fun and enjoy my day the relatively old-fashioned way without any apps. So I slept in. And now I'm ready to wake up. And my first inclination when I'm ready to wake up is to do something on my phone, to not get out of bed, but like slowly wake myself up. So I have been texting some people this morning, but I haven't been using any apps or anything. And now I'm gonna go to the kitchen. I'm gonna make peach cobbler because I have these old peaches that I need to eat. And I've been meaning to cook peach cobbler for a while now and I haven't. And then while it's cooking, I'm gonna do some yoga. And that's all I got so far. So let's see how it goes. The best part about the morning is cuddle time with the kittens. Yay! Love you guys.
It's pretty crazy how motivation comes in spurts. Like, I just did so much right then. I washed the dishes, I put away the dishes, I made breakfast, I made coffee, I cleaned up a bit, and then I started preparing the ingredients for this peach cobbler.
But you're stuck out in the same old storm again. Que justo al conocerte conocí lo que es amar.
make the bed? Can I? Come on, dog. I love you. Girl. Come on. That's a good girl. It's a good girl. All this effort just to make the. Just want to make the bed, Gorda. Just want to make it. Please. Oh, please, girl. Thank you. Okay, that's better. Okay, now it's done. Kind of. You're so funny. So we've got a lot of options for things that I can do today, and I'm going to start with yoga. My boyfriend is obsessed with this game called StarCraft, and like, I don't really play video games, but this game is actually pretty fun. It's a strategy game, and I've slowly been learning it, and we're gonna play together like a team game. One of the things that I like about StarCraft is that there are 3 races you can play, and the race that I pick is the Zerg race. And I picked them because basically they're like animals, you know, like there's like humans, and then there's like this robot race called the Protoss, and they all hate the Zerg, and so I always play the Zerg. They're just like little bugs that everybody wants to kill, so I feel like you know, I'm being vegan in the game. I just spent the last couple of hours playing StarCraft, just hanging out with my boyfriend. We chatted for a little bit on FaceTime. And now I'm headed to dinner. You would think that the cicadas are out. It's so freaking loud, these bugs. Cool. We're gonna go to this place called 𝓁𝒾𝓃𝓀, which has really good stir fries. And then I'm gonna try tackling a couple more things on my to-do list. So the thing about my to-do list is that it wasn't really a to-do list. It was more like, here are some options for things that you can do today, so that I had direction. Because a lot of times when I don't have direction, my first instinct is to just like watch a YouTube video or scroll on some kind of app. Giving myself lots of options for things that I want to do and things that maybe I don't want to do but I know will make me feel better. That's better than having nothing at all, because it will guide me and maybe even inspire me to do something. Today was a really nice day. It was a slow day. I didn't get a ton done, but sometimes you need those days. You need to just relax and do some self-care. And I think that the more time I spend on social media, the more days like that I need. It's kind of weird because I think about social media, scrolling, YouTube in particular, I think of it as being downtime. I think of it that way because it really doesn't take too much mental energy to engage in that type of activity.
But what happens is, after I, continue to use social media and scroll and read articles and spend a lot of time on my phone, it gives me less time to accomplish the other things that I want to do in life, and it stresses me out more. And it's a catch-22 because then I feel like I need more time to relax. So days like today where I spend my time not on my phone, I get a lot more done. I do a wider variety of things. Like, I might normally spend most of the day watching YouTube videos, but today I cooked and I cleaned and I went over my budget and I spent time with my boyfriend and we went out on a date. I played some video games and we got in some quality time as a couple before he starts a new job, and it seems like pretty soon I may be starting a new job. So a day like today is a really special day because we might not be able to have a day like this for a very long time when we're both working and we can't spend, as much time as we want together throughout the week. And had I spent all day scrolling through social media or on YouTube or whatever, I wouldn't have had that time, and I don't think I would have had the mental energy either. And now I'm feeling pretty sleepy, so I think I'm just gonna throw on some pajamas and go to bed. I am trying out this new composting service, and tomorrow is the pickup day. So I do have to put my bucket of compost outside of our apartment. But other than that, it's just relaxing time. Now, something that I often do at nighttime, which I have the urge to do right now, is like lay down, relax with YouTube videos in bed. And I think one of the problems is that I do it when I'm in bed and not outside of the bed. I don't know why that's so important, but I guess it's kind of like, how they say that you shouldn't work in bed, you shouldn't do homework in bed, you should have a distinct separation between your work life and your relaxing time. And I think it's really that you should have a distinct separation between your sleep and your mental junk food. Part of what I was talking to my boyfriend about today over dinner was mental junk food, and how kind of like when you first move out of your parents' house and suddenly you can eat whatever you want, and so you eat a whole bunch of junk food and often end up gaining weight because of it, and you have to teach yourself how to eat healthy in an effort to feel better because you know that it's good for yourself. We kind of have to do the same thing when it comes to social media and TV and media consumption and all the dopamine hits that we get from consuming social media. I know that social media isn't good for me, and I know that it also does provide some sort of value, but I know, just like junk food, that value is only good in small amounts. And so in a lot of ways, I have to parent myself. I have to parent my use of these sites and apps and things so that it's not getting out of control. And one thing that I have noticed is that bed is a trigger. If I'm laying in bed and I'm scrolling or I'm watching videos or whatever, I'm gonna be in bed longer. Either in bed after I wake up, I'm gonna be in bed for a couple of hours and not wanna get out of bed, or I'm going to be in bed and needing to sleep and procrastinating, putting off sleeping by distracting myself with these things. Either way, it's not good. It's not how I want to live my life. These are not the things that I value. I don't want to be wasting my time. And that's how I feel I use these apps. I feel like I oftentimes don't even want to be on them. I just have the urge. I just have this automatic reaction, this automatic tendency to use them, and it's really unhealthy for me. And so what I would rather do is spend my time developing some hobbies, getting things done that I want to do in the long run, but they require more effort, and I think that's really the trick. It's like, it's so easy to just open YouTube and find a video that will entertain me. It's a lot harder to like sit down and try to teach myself how to play guitar, or take this course that I'm taking, or study for this test that I'm trying to get a certification in. All of those things have, you know, great long-term effects, but in the interim they require more effort, and so it's so much easier to just grab the junk food, take the quick dopamine hit, and not invest in my long-term health and self-care and whatnot. And I think this is going to be a long-term struggle, this struggle that I think many of us have with media consumption and really just consumption in general. Interestingly enough, I do consider myself to be a minimalist, and I do really value a simple life, and I think that my consumption of social media complicates my life. It distracts from the things that I truly want to do, and it makes me less appreciative and less grateful for what I have very often. I guess you could say this is a bit of a rant about social media, but I don't think that it's all bad. I mean, I definitely think that there are good things about it. There's so much I've learned about sustainability, for example, from the internet. I learned about veganism from social media. There are so many good things that the internet has to offer, but it's too much of a good thing sometimes. Thank you, Shakespeare. Valuable quote. Anyways, I'm still working through trying to find a balance. I kind of go back and forth. I'll have some good times and then I kind of fall back into old habits and go back and forth about it. And if my relationship with food is any example, this will likely take me a long time to tackle, and I will have to just really develop good habits and consistency to make it work. It took me years to tackle my relationship with food, years to get myself in a healthier spot when it came to that, and I hope that tackling my relationship with media consumption doesn't take as long, but at least I'm in a spot where I'm recognizing that there are some patterns that I don't like, and I'm trying to actively take steps towards resolving those things and putting myself in a better place where I am consuming it in a way that's more intentional. And I guess to sum things up, that is really the key to what I'm looking for in my life. I want to live an intentional life, and I think the thing about social media consumption that gives me anxiety, that stresses me out, is that most of the time I feel like it's not intentional. I don't have the control that I think I have. It's really these apps that have control over me. I don't want to use them many times, or you know, I want to in the short term, but I know that it's not good for me in the long term, and they really encourage you to make poor decisions that aren't good for your health and well-being. So just in general, focusing on living an intentional life, using these tools in an intentional way, using them as tools and not as ways to just fill the time, that is a goal that I want to achieve, and what I'm trying to work towards by putting out this series on media consumption, and you know, just trying to be vulnerable and open about the reality of social media consumption and how much of a challenge it is for people, all kinds of people, everybody really. Anyways, I'm gonna put my compost out at the front door, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. Maybe I'll put my laundry away, listen to some music, and then just hit the hay as a horse would. Let me show you my to-do list. I'll show you what I have accomplished thus far. I'm gonna do this tonight. I did take a shower. I didn't put on makeup. I had dinner with Chris. I did my background check paperwork. I played StarCraft. I'm filming this video, so I didn't edit it, but I am filming it, so that's good enough for that. And I did do some budgeting. So let's cross these things off. Hey Google, play.
Playing some music on YouTube Music.
So I was gonna watch Castlevania tonight, but it's actually already pretty late. It's like 11:30, and I do want to get back to a better sleeping schedule, so I think I'm just gonna lay down and I'm gonna read a couple chapters of a book. The other funny thing is that I did my journaling, and I normally do that right before I go to bed, and then after I finished it I kind of felt like, I don't know, just relaxed and like I was ready for bed, and I find that kind of funny because I haven't done it in about a month. It's really simple journaling. It's really just lists of things. I don't really like to write in paragraph form, but I love writing lists, so I decided, fuck it, I'm not gonna be like everybody else. I'm not gonna journal like everybody else. I'm just gonna journal like me, and it's been really working for me, but I haven't done it in a while, and I hadn't thought that I had like made it into a routine or anything, but I kind of find it funny that doing the journaling was like a signal to my body that it was time to get into bed. So no Castlevania for me tonight. No mindless media consumption today. Only intentional media consumption and intentional actions pretty much all day long. I'm very happy with the way that today turned out. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end the day by reading a couple chapters of my book, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So good night, and let's all work towards having a more intentional life, and definitely more intentional consumption of media and social media.